Hey, it's Matt Moscona. You found it. It's AFR Saints, your home for daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Please subscribe, smash the like button, hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. And our content this football season is presented by BetUS. Score a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000 when you use the promo code YouTube150. Enjoy the video. Who dat? Sean, the Saints mathematically now are, for all intents and purposes, eliminated. There was a glimmer of hope that the home loss this past weekend, their odds now of winning the division are less than 1%, but they're going to go play the Giants this week. Man, the Giants look awful, like maybe the worst team in the NFL. And I know you look at the whole league. Is there anything the Giants do well right now?
Yeah, get on a team bus to go home.
Okay.
They are.
Okay.
Maybe they even stumble over that. I'm not even sure they do that well, Matt. It is when the Giants are on the schedule, you're like, I can't watch this. It really is. And you think about Kafka, how good he's been as a quarterback coach and the coordinator. When Daniel Jones had that big season and Daboll was there, I know these guys didn't forget how to coach. The dysfunction it's weird with the Jets and the Giants. There seems to always be dysfunction from top to bottom. They can't settle in on players. And they can't sustain good play. And it's like you go there to have your career. Look at what Saquon Barkley's doing.
Yeah. Oh.
I know they got better play. Look what he's doing. I think he's the MVP of the league. He and Josh Allen, to me, that's 1-2. And I think there's a distance, even though Lamar's having a good year and Derrick Henry, Jared Goff belongs in the conversation. But look what he's doing. And think about the devalue of running backs. Henry, what Aaron Jones is doing, what Josh Jacobs has done in Green Bay for them, what Joe Mixon's doing here, obviously Saquon Barkley. We're not devaluing the people that are devaluing the running back. Better think twice about it because a bunch of those dudes are at the top of the list and what they're doing. And look what San Francisco's done, how they struggled without a full season of McCaffrey and now with him hurt again. So the Giants are a putrid watch. Now it's dangerous for a team like if you were a team on the cusp of the playoffs, not just New Orleans, anybody, and you go into their building, it's like, well, and the Jets the same way. It's like, okay, what do they got to play for? Their golf clubs are in their trunk. They want to starting to get cold. They're ready to go. And I don't like to use the word quit, but it almost feels like they're clock watching to January and can't wait to get out. And coaching like it, playing like it. The Jets have better personnel, but the Giants, they don't have many players. And, I don't think the locker room's on board. I think the front office, I'm not telling anybody anything they don't want to know. The dysfunction, and they just find ways, and bad teams do this, find ways to lose. They just do, and they will continue to do so until they're 4 players away from being 4 players away, and it's a hard watch, and it's been like this for a minute. They had that one season with Daboll, but other than that, it's just when you're watching the Giants play, it'll make you want to throw up in your mouth at times. Whether it's effort, I shouldn't have to coach effort ever as a coach, but just the execution, which makes you think, what are they doing on the practice field? Is there accountability? I always think when guys are playing like this, they're pros, they get paid. I mean, how can you be 2 years ago a playoff team, and now here we are, and you can't even get out of your own way for a quarter, and you watch them play, and it's like, what happened? These are professional players and coaches. Have they quit on themselves? Is it just to get through? Is it a paycheck? Is there no passion? All those things that show up on the field. Then I revert to what are they doing on the practice field? Is there accountability?
We'll get right back to the video, but want to take an opportunity to remind you about our great partner this football season here at AFR Saints, BetUS. You want to bet on the Saints and Giants or any of your NFL action? Make sure you do it at BetUS, where you can get a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit, 125% on your next two deposits, up to $2,000 when you use the promo code YouTube150. Let me show you how easy it is to lock in our bet for the Saints-Giants this weekend. You go to BetUS, the sportsbook, hit the drop-down, choose NFL Week 14. We'll scroll, there's Saints and Giants. You know the old adage, chalk early, dogs late. Saints opened as a 2.5, 3-point favorite. It's up to 4.5 now. You better get on it before it keeps climbing. We'll lay the 4.5 with the Saints because the Giants are atrocious. They've quit and Dexter Lawrence isn't playing anymore. So we'll go ahead and place the bet. It's going to ask me to confirm 2 taps, and just like that, our bet is locked in at BetUS, where you can get a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, 125% on your next 2 deposits, up to $2,000 when you use the promo code YouTube150. Now enjoy the rest of the video.
I can remember in Minnesota, we had a veteran coach. Burnsy was at his last year, and Jerry Burns was awesome. One of my favorite people and coaches on the planet. Everybody loved Burnsy. We loved him so much, and then when he got replaced, everybody was like, "Well, we can't let Burnsy go because he loved veterans. Veterans love Burnsy. Why? You got away with a little bit. He was at the finals at the end of his career. It had been a phenomenal run, and he'd keep a veteran that was a middle of the road guy before he'd keep a rookie just because he liked veterans. He did. He trusted him more. And so when he got fired, he went, well, why are we getting rid of Burnsy? We don't want to get rid of Burnsy. Well, play harder, play smarter, play better. And we took it for granted. Guys would come out to the stretching lines a little late in the last year. If practice started at 3, it's 3:05, and just putting your pads on. Then Denny came in the next year, and Burnsy was like that early in his career, obviously, and his success. But it was a little old school. You let the players police themselves. Well, it got to the point where it was taken for granted. It was like, oh, it's cool. And it reflected the way we practiced at times. It really did. And then he came in and said, no, new sheriff in town. If you showed up and your pads weren't on and it was 3:01, you were getting fined. But they still loved him. He just set the rule. The practice starts at 3, not 3:07. And it wasn't Burns. He was just, the vet. You just kind of, we had success and you just kind of got used to it. But then you take it for granted. It's like anything. Oh, man, I'll show up. I'll be there. I got this handled. And I think in the Giants, I think that's the case. It feels to me like something on the practice field. There's got to be a lack of people falling asleep in meetings. I just get the feeling from a distance. You can't be that bad, be getting paid and collecting a paycheck and going in the back door to get it some of the time, and then show up on Sundays and have it and play like that as a professional athlete and coach like that. To me, there's got to be something on the practice field or the meeting room where there's a lack of accountability, and it's bothersome.
So the Giants, and granted, you've seen much more of the Giants. I don't have to watch the Giants.
Well,
Sean,
thank goodness. Lucky you.
Lucky you. Except for when the network shoved the Jets and Giants down our throat. But
right.
The Saints are 4-8, but no one can argue that they've quit. They're still obviously playing very hard. So where's the gap on this team when they're playing hard, but the results still aren't there?
Well, Matty, I fall under philosophy that I hear coaches say this all the time, and I say it, you say it, and we fill it in with stuff. I hate when I say it, and I know what you're saying about playing hard. I have no compassion, none. I don't care if you're 0-14. All that money you make and fans still showing up, playing hard should never be something that comes out of my mouth, ever. Playing smart, studying better, but playing hard. If I got a bunch of guys, I don't care that you're out of it. Then you start to kick in extra hard because I'm evaluating. If I'm your coach or a general manager and we are 1-12, you better damn well be sure I'm even evaluating you harder now because I want to find out just what guy has his golf clubs in his trunk and is already on his way home, and we got 4 games to play. So, but for some, maybe it doesn't matter. So for me, it's playing smarter. I guess for like the Saints, who play hard and they should. Now, I guarantee on a lot of teams that are out there are players who have checked out. That happens. It's inexcusable, and it needs to be. They need to know their jobs are on the line. There's a reason why we've won 2 or 3 or 4 games is because, well, we're not executing. Nobody's questioning how hard you play. Nobody's questioning your effort. But effort's one thing. Effort's great. Effort doesn't get people. I mean, it'll help you, but you can have all the effort in the world. But if you're a sprinter and you said, man, I trained my ass off, but all of a sudden you decide to just run 80 yards instead of 100, you ain't winning the 100-meter dash. So when it comes to football, it's maybe you're just not as good as we thought. Maybe you just don't execute. Maybe attention to detail. Maybe the personnel's not as good as maybe they are a 5-win personnel team. Playing hard should be something that everybody does all the time, no matter what. I know that's a fantasy world, but if I got to coach effort or got to tell my guys to play hard, then I've lost them as a coach. I just have. It's those guys like the Saints you're talking about. They go get a couple wins for interim coach for Rizzi, and then they keep doing it. But like in this game, pitch a great first half, boom, you allow the Rams, who didn't play great, to come back in and play better second half football and score a couple times. You put a tight end on the last play to block an edge rusher. If you're going to put a tight end, have somebody else chip. Just the little details. Maddie, I'll say it again. The difference between the Saints and the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Quarterback, I'm not saying Carr's not good, but Mahomes is different, even though the Chiefs offense struggling. But, or any, say Buffalo, I don't care who it is, the good teams, is a quarterback, about 3 or 4 players, and about 6 to 8 to 10 plays a game. I'm telling you, that's the difference. Take a look at this game. They beat him if they make about 4 extra plays and maybe a player or two. Carr, he's accurate, completes the football. So in a situation like this, I don't think it's the fact that they quit playing. They've got name players. I just think their talent's down a little over all around. It just is. They're not as talented with injuries, and Taysom gets hurt. But the inability to play 60 minutes, that's not effort. At times, that's just doing it smarter and doing it wiser. And did you pay attention to detail during the week on Thursday? Did you ask the question? I know it sounds so elementary and cheesy, but that question, I'll catch coach later. That could be the play on a tight end protecting your edge rusher. And then you say, well, the tight end's outmatched. Sure he is. So why in the world did we do that when the game was on a line and a chance and a guy's open? Why do we have an edge rusher? I'm just telling you, everywhere you go, they'll never, ever tell you that they believe a tight end. It doesn't matter if it's Dave Casper, Rob Gronkowski, or the best blocking tight end in the history of the game. They don't believe tight ends can block them, and nor should they. So when a 4-8 team, it's a handful. You go back, I promise you at the end of this, they go back and look at the tape and pull out 6 to 8 plays a game in all their losses and their wins. And it's going to bear itself out. It's not one play. It's not one snap, hook, field goal. What led to that? Why are we kicking a field goal instead of scoring a touchdown? And just that's why the NFL, you see it with parity and all that, and the draft picks and the last getting picked first, is you can fix it in a hurry. And the Texans are a perfect example. 3-10, 3 wins the year before. Bam, go get 10 wins. And now having a hard time handling success, few injuries, not as much attention to detail, undisciplined. And now they got to go on a 3-game road to play 3 games in 10 days against Miami, against Baltimore, and Kansas City. They could literally be 8-8.
Oh, man.
If they play like this, they'll be 8-8. So, and it'll be 3 or 4 plays, not get a dumb play call by Matt Eberflus, not using a timeout when you have it, stuff like that. We call these experts, and they at times coach like amateurs or play like it, and that's what it comes down to. The difference between the Alvin Kamara and Saquon Barkley, Kamara's had Barkley-type seasons. I mean, where he's been the best all-around guy. It's here and there. And the Saints, just like the not quite like the Giants, Saints, Cowboys, teams that have done some good things. Do you know what you watch them, Maddie? And you and I both know this. You'll say, gosh dang, if we had just made that play.
Yeah.
They're not that far off, and it can be fixed, but it doesn't come down to playing harder to me. It's smarter and execution, and sometimes the guy across from you is better, and their edge rusher was better than the tight end blocking him. That's just the way it works.
Saints have much bigger questions this offseason than this week, taking on the Giants. Sean Salisbury, get him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Catch him weekday morning, Sports Talk 790 in Houston. So good whenever we can get this time with Sean every week, man. We always appreciate it. Look forward to chatting as we move along.
I look forward to it. Thank you, my man. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching the video. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit the bell so you're notified when we post a new video, and remember to support BetUS, where right now you can get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. Be sure to use that promo code YouTube150.